Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about I had to place the order for my client and pay for it. DoorDasher accepts all offers to boost acceptance rate. Does it work? And once again, we have a display of the opposite of no tip, no trip, and that is the perfect acceptance rating. And regardless of whether or not you want to have a top dasher status or a high pay order program status or platinum status, as it is growing in some markets, there is also the concept of no tip, no trip as well. And we don't know exactly where this person lies from this point in the article. So with that said, I want to go over everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for DoorDash drivers, UberEats drivers, Grubhub drivers, and their corresponding customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. The topic of declining DoorDash orders is one that is oft discussed among employees of the popular delivery app. There are some folks who state that for financial reasons, they draw a hard line on the orders that they accept in order to maximize their income potential during their work shifts. The person writing this article has no idea how the DoorDash program works, and obviously is proving that based on the way she's saying everything, or he's saying everything, because they're still calling DoorDash drivers employees when they're independent contractors. And I guess work shifts kind of make sense, but not really. And also, this particular writer has often chosen to be against gig workers overall, so keep that in mind for the remainder of this article. However, some say that this has adversely affected their ability to receive orders as their acceptance rate takes a hit as a result. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have speculated how much acceptance rate really matters, and as far as your status on the platform being an active driver, whether or not you're a cherry picker or otherwise, no, it's not going to change whether or not you're on the platform unless they're in the middle of a mass deactivation, and in which case all bets are off. But in terms of receiving orders, you don't want to just receive any order. And I feel like a lot of people miss that. You need to receive quality orders that pay well. There appear to be conflicting reports on whether or not a lower acceptance rate actually affects a DoorDash driver's ability to receive orders. Ridester writes that this is not the case. However, there are DoorDash drivers who have posted what they call proof of drivers being penalized once they dip below a certain acceptance rate percentage. There are others who have said that acceptance rates do matter and have an impact on Dashers' bottom lines. Yeah, a lot of people swear to the idea that you get penalized for having a low acceptance rate. And do I believe that cherry pickers aren't exactly the most welcome type of gig worker on the platform? I mean, it's obvious through DoorDash's actions, but still. I also say that has to do with being a market-to-market thing. Like, what applies to me in my market's not going to apply to you. It also is case by case on whether or not you're in the large order program on DoorDash, what other perks that you have available to you, what's your completion rate, what's your customer rating in some cases. I know that they don't say customer rating matters, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it does in a way. A DoorDash driver by the name of Kay at Kaylacobi wanted to document her time by accepting every single order that came in through her DoorDash application during a shift to see if it would be worth her time and boost her acceptance rate in the process. I'm going to leave her TikTok as well as her profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. I also want to say that doing a ride-along of that nature is probably one of the best ways to get views on any platform, whether it's TikTok or YouTube. And even if it doesn't turn out to be financially responsible to do so, YouTube actually can make up for a lot, especially since the CPMs are actually really high for gig work as a whole. Kay says that after reading comments from other users on the platform, platform, in another video she saw a few suggestions from folks who recommended that she accept all orders that come in through her account. The reason for doing so, theoretically, is that it would boost her acceptance rate, which in turn presumably gives her access to even more orders, plus a great variety of customers to choose from whenever she fires up the app to start work. That entire paragraph seems like the biggest oxymoron I've ever heard. Accept all DoorDash orders that come in through her account, because theoretically you can have more orders and a greater variety of customers to choose from, but the fact of the matter is the choices that you're making is to accept all orders. Not that you're choosing to work with who you want to work with. It's the fact that you're taking whatever you can get. That is a scarcity mindset, not an abundance mindset. What kind of nonsense is that?
We're gonna take all orders and see what happens. Okay, so we have our first order going to McDonald's for $7.75 to go 7.8 miles. So let's go pick it up and drop it off.
That dollars to mile ratio is just physically painful, man. Kay then shows off the McDonald's bag she picked up from the restaurant, which she attaches a sticky note to with a special message for her customer. Her next order is from Starbucks, which she doesn't seem too thrilled about, stating that she typically doesn't like to get DoorDash orders from the popular coffee chain. For this particular order, she said that she was being offered $6.50 to travel 6.3 miles for the order. Again, that is just a painful dollars to mile ratio. I think that what she's displaying is that you can end up getting a bunch of orders, but the orders that you're going to get are going to have some of the worst dollars to mile ratios and probably not worth it at the end of the day. Once at the location, however, she said that she was surprised to see that the DoorDash customer's order was ready. The next clip in the video is of her filling up her vehicle with gas. According to DoorDash, as of March 17th, 2022, DoorDashers can receive 10% cash back rewards on all gasoline that they purchase. That is outdated information. What kind of piss poor due diligence did this guy conduct? She then discusses her third order of the shift, which is an $8.25 order to travel 5.3 miles. She shows off a bag containing part of the order along with a coffee beverage that she says looks delicious despite the fact that she doesn't really drink coffee. Okay, so that one's a little better. It's not great. $8.25 for 5.3 isn't great, but it's better than what she's gotten so far. Kay's next order was a first for her, that she was picking up food from a local Thai restaurant. However, she had to place the order herself for the customer and pay for it with what she refers to as a red card. According to the app, the red card is a prepaid card that Dashers use to pay for some, but not all, DoorDash orders. Each Dasher receives a red card during orientation or when they receive a welcome kit. DoorDash goes on to say that the red card is not linked to a Dasher's personal bank account, nor does that have any connection with their earnings. That is to say, the money that they make on the orders will not be placed on that red card. It is exclusively to fulfill payments for orders that they pick up in situations that necessitate the red card. I actually made a video talking all about the red card itself. I'll leave that in the description. Feel free to check it out. But again, outdated information. They clearly copied and pasted this from the DoorDash website because that had outdated information too. The fifth order she was asked to place was from a Safeway, although she says that she usually enjoys fulfilling orders placed at the store and that she was earning a rate in line with her $1 per mile of travel rule. The 4 items she was asked to deliver to the customer filled the remaining empty space she had in her vehicle. You know what's more annoying than an order that doesn't fulfill the dollars to mile rule? It's an order that is so big in the process of that you know you're not being tipped properly and you're not being treated like a human being, but you're going to do a lot more work for what is seemingly a lot less money. After fulfilling that order, she then hopped on the camera again in another part of the video to state that she received other orders that were super hard to find, so she didn't film them. At this point in her delivery shift, she said that she earns $47.53, which she says isn't the best payout she's received to commensurate with the amount of work that she's done, but it's also not the worst amount of cash she's earned as a dasher either. Well, if you're comparing the work that you've done to how much you've gotten paid, it's probably garbage. It's an okay amount, I guess. I just am concerned about the expenses that you're incurring.
I mean, it's alright, like...
Kay also said that she hit a bit of a slow period at this time, which she theorized was due to more DoorDash employees performing deliveries in her area. She eventually does secure another order, which she is excited about because she doesn't need to drive out of town to complete it, and says she will receive $5.50 to drive 2.2 miles to pick up an order from Blaze Pizza. Again, with the DoorDash employees, this writer is absolute trash. Although, there is a point that Kay brought up that was good. The more drivers, the less orders. $5.50 to drive 2.2 miles, it's not bad. Although I do love Blaze Pizza though, so I would be tortured on the way to the customer. To close out her video, she uploads a clip of herself speaking into the camera from the following morning, stating that she tipped out at $53.05. It's okay, I guess. I don't know how long you were working, but still. Kay states that after trying the experiment of accepting every single order that comes her way, she will not be doing it ever again, as she was asked to drive out of town numerous times, which made her very tired. And that's the worst part, is when you're accepting every order, you also get the crap customers that are very unappreciative of the work you do, don't tip at all in a lot of cases, but expect the world from you. And they probably think you're an employee, so they think they can get away with that. There was one commenter who said that consistently accepting all orders proved to an ultimately positive experience for them. That person claimed, "We accept all orders, our acceptance rate is high, and we consistently get good tips and priority on bigger tip orders." Sounds to me like one of those top dasher fools that keep swearing by the idea that high acceptance rate means more money, and quite honestly, that doesn't apply to everybody, and not to mention is not a good way to live life, man, because you're probably driving your car into the ground. Someone else said that after drivers put into perspective how many total miles they've clocked in upon accepting all orders, they soon discover that taking every single gig DoorDash throws at them is ultimately not worth it. When people do this, they should also say how many total miles they ended up driving. Once you see the numbers, you never do it again. 100% agree, because the point is that you may make about the same amount of money, but the amount of expenses you end up incurring as a top dasher goes so much higher. Another seemed to echo that having a high acceptance rate has ultimately been a boon to their DoorDash earnings. I was wondering why all my larger orders that have a 20-25% tip on it always go to the premium drivers. On Uber Eats though. But good. Now wait a second. The way he said that, premium drivers on Uber Eats. Premium is a Grubhub thing. I think somebody's like paying for comments. Okay, this is like way tinfoil hatty, but I genuinely believe that some people are being paid to comment certain things. Like, it makes me frustrated because I'm thinking now, like, okay, who's a legitimate driver and who isn't? I have confused terminologies before, but premium drivers is a Grubhub thing. Uber Eats has a pro rewards program for people who have been doing a lot of deliveries. That's the Diamond program, the Platinum program, etc. But never anything like that on DoorDash. Premium drivers. If it was anything, it'd be platinum drivers, and that wasn't introduced at the time of this article came out. That's kind of scary to think about. One commenter thought $1 per mile is crazy before adding, "It just seems like so little. After gas, maintenance, and your time, I have never used DoorDash, but that just seems like nothing for you guys." First of all, we usually go for more than $1 per mile. We try for $1.50, and again, DoorDash, there's only so much you could do because of the hidden tip system as a whole, but we try to go for at least $1.50, $2 a mile, and try to understand the hidden tip system to the best of our ability. But if you're like cutting it really close, like $1 and a penny per mile or something like that, yeah, it does feel like nothing. But at the same time, as long as you're taking quality orders, you should be okay. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. Not if you pay me. There you go. Obviously, it seems like the writer is skewed in the direction of not tipping their driver. They're skewed at the idea that drivers shouldn't have freedom. And that's clear and obvious by the way he's writing this article. He's always been this particular way, this Jack Albon guy. He's using outdated information and trying to maintain the stance of having a high acceptance rate. And obviously, there is so much ulterior motive to that, it's kind of disgusting. Now, that also said, this DoorDash driver shouldn't be accepting any and every order she receives either. But could the AdSense on TikTok make up for the concept of her utilizing that strategy long term? I mean, TikTok is kind of like any trend or any viral post. It's really good initially, but then it flattens out. So I don't know if it's really the best strategy, but if it made her back some of the money that she would have had otherwise, I mean, good for her. It's good for her brand if she's trying to build one. But I'm glad she made it absolutely clear I would never do this again, because it was exhausting and grueling to take every single order knowing that those customers weren't tipping me properly and treating me like garbage. Not to mention that her ratings probably took a hit for that as well. Like, it's already proven that better tipping customers also give better ratings. You don't want to deal with customers that are harder to deal with. All in all, I'm glad that she was able to figure her stuff out here. I'm glad that she went viral with this kind of post, and I'm sorry that her post ended up in the hands of a writer that is literally out to get all Dashers. Like, seriously, he's literally using his position as a writer to make it sound like we're the bad guy. I'm sorry it ended up in his hands, but I'm glad she went viral. This was a good find on why no tip, no trip is so dang important for all parties involved. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!